My name is Diana Hayes. I'm 39, a public high school English teacher, and the official family album tells me I was born 7 minutes after my twin sister, Andrea. In every photograph, I'm slightly out of focus, half smiling, standing a step behind. Andrea was always the one who jumped off the dock at the country estate. I was the one who watched where she landed. My parents were the Hayes family. People said their name like it was a brand: hotels, sprawling estates, a huge brownstone on the Upper East Side. I went off script. I didn't want the marketing plans or the numbers. I liked books and the sound of a student's voice when they discovered they could write something real. Andrea, however, followed the path. Tailored suits, a bright, expensive smile, and the family watch. As kids, they called us identical. As teenagers, they stopped. Andrea was taller, broader. My voice was quieter. People would joke, "They don't look like twins, do they?" My mother, Veronica, would just laugh and say, "Fraternal, of course," but a small pebble of doubt would always tighten inside me. I always ignored it. The day we buried my mother, it rained as if it were a cliché. My father, Charles, had died 6 months earlier. I took a cab back to my apartment. "Brace yourself," I told myself, staring at the empty wall where a painting should be. I don't have expensive paintings. I have school calendars and road trip photos. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. "Hello. Is this Ms. Diana Hayes?" "I'm calling from the National Genetics Institute. We have a note in your file. A DNA sample from 1987 has finally matched someone in our database." I was silent. A neonatal sample. Back then, they did a simple heel prick test that some maternity wards forwarded to a databank. It had been in a file for 30 years. And today, a match was flagged. Is that good? It's impossible. And yet, I'd prefer to explain it in person. "Could you come in tomorrow?" I hung up, breathing fast. Impossible. A DNA match thought of Andrea, of my mother, and I saw no connection, but my mind was already racing. I didn't sleep. I got up at 6 a.m., put on a clean shirt, and took the subway downtown. The Genetics Institute building was glass and cold. First, though, let me rewind to the will. 6 weeks ago, the estate lawyer read us the documents in a conference room that smelled of old carpets. I didn't know a document could hurt so much. It felt like reading a Christmas list for a party you weren't invited to. The entirety of the real estate Hayes properties, the investment portfolios, everything was awarded to Andrea Hayes then. A hasty mention to Diana with love, her grandmother's old locket, and her father's collection of classic cars, the ones he always kept locked away. The houses, the money, the beach house, everything for my sister. I remained silent. Afterward, as we left the room, Andrea smiled. "Mum and Dad always loved me more," she said, like a joke that wasn't a joke. "You're selfish," I told her. "I'm doing what they wanted. Don't blame me for that." I tried to contest the will. The lawyer was a polite wall. I understand your grief, Diana, but the will is ironclad. Your father drafted it with his attorneys. Your mother ratified it. I found Andrea at an expensive coffee shop a few days later. Don't call me sister. Like you don't know what you're doing. I'm doing what Mum and Dad wanted. What they left me, Diana. You chose to be poor. Sorry, humble. I did the dirty work. I put up with Dad. I learned the business. It was my turn. Your turn is to teach class and manage reading assignments. I wanted to throw my coffee at her. I walked out. And now I was at the institute, sitting across from Dr. Harrison, a man in his late 40s with a sensible tie. Before I say anything, I need to confirm some information. You were born on March 17, 1987, at St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Twin sister Andrea. Yes. He took a slow breath. He clicked his mouse. 2 files were open. Dates, codes, numbers, and my name on one. On the other, a different last name, a first name I didn't recognize. All right. Here I have your neonatal sample file taken 48 hours after birth. And here, a new match from our update of public and private databases. The match is with a profile within our own archives. A profile we shouldn't be able to link to yours. What does that mean? It means there are 2 stories here, and one of them doesn't line up with everything else. The match was marked as no known parents. The strange thing, the impossible thing, is that the combination of markers on your neonatal card cannot be reconciled with that of the woman listed as your mother Veronica in the hospital's records. What, Diana? The markers on your neonatal card are not compatible with Veronica, your mother, on paper. There is no way that woman is your biological mother, and, by extension, the markers from the other file do match Veronica. I stared at him without blinking. A buzzing, a ringing filled my ears. I thought of my father turning his back on me when I said I wouldn't join the firm. I thought of Andrea jumping into the lake. No, that makes no sense. I have a twin sister. I have pictures of my mother pregnant. I know. That's why I'm saying it's impossible, but genetics don't lie. We need to be very careful. We can run a current DNA test on you. We can try to locate samples from your sister. But first, I want you to understand that this information can have legal and personal implications. I closed my eyes for a second. I saw Andrea's smirk at the coffee shop. You chose to be poor. Do it. Do whatever you have to do. I left the institute with a stiff neck and a head full of words. Impossible, discrepancy, markers. That night, I sent Andrea a message. I need to talk to you. It's not about money. She didn't reply until the next morning. I'm swamped this weekend. I ignored her attitude, knowing I had to get her in that office. I managed to get Andrea to come in with a mixture of insistence and a promise that it had nothing to do with the will. 10 minutes. Danny, I'm swamped. I owe you one. Dr. Harrison received us gravely. He took our saliva and had us sign forms. Andrea made jokes. What if it turns out I'm adopted and my real mum is a famous athlete? No one laughed. Dr. Harrison explained that fraternal twins share on average 50% of their genetic material, just like regular siblings. Then he looked at the screen. A technician came in and whispered something to him. He put on his glasses. "I need you both to listen without interrupting, please." We leaned in. The preliminary results, combined with the neonatal cards, indicate that the two of you share practically no genetic material, 0 point something. What would be expected between two strangers from the same population? The silence was a hard blow. You are not biological sisters. You do not share a mother or a father. The 1987 cards tell us that at St. Elizabeth's Hospital there was, at the very least, a switch of newborns. What did you say? This is insane. A joke. Andrea, your markers are compatible with Veronica and with your father, Charles. You are their biological daughter. And me. Diana, I'm sorry. You are not the biological daughter of Veronica or Charles. Your neonatal card matches another couple who had a baby that same night. That couple, the Martinez family, tried for years to locate their son because their baby died at 48 hours old. They always maintained they may have been given the wrong child. My vision blurred. Are you saying that I was switched at birth? All signs point to yes. I can't be 100% certain without comparing with the biological family, but the data is conclusive. But there's more. The couple whose profile matches Diana's card has the last name Martinez. They filed a complaint in 1987 for irregularities at the hospital. Back then, there weren't genetic tests like there are now. It was all confusing. One of them passed away 10 years ago. The other, who? The father. His name is Antonio Martinez. He lives in a town 2 hours from here. 6 months ago, with the rise of home genetic testing, he submitted his DNA to a public database, hoping to find something. Our system cross-referenced the data, and that's why your card was flagged. There is a high probability that Antonio is your biological father. Come back to see how it ends in part 2. Thanks for watching.